Most men think attraction is about looks, or money, or confidence. They're wrong. Attraction is biological code, running in the unconscious nervous system. And if you don't understand that code, you are invisible. Freud called it libido. Jung called it projection. Modern neuroscience calls it amygdala activation. But here's the truth no one tells you. She is not reacting to your words. She is reacting to your internal state. And if your nervous system is unstable, she feels it instantly. Tonight, we decode the real formula of magnetism. Welcome to Female Nature Revealed. We decode hidden psychological triggers of attraction, moving beyond surface advice into the deep unconscious mind. True magnetism is not about your physical appearance or financial status. It is about understanding the biological software running inside the human brain. By combining the raw drives identified by Sigmund Freud with the deep archetypes of Carl Jung, we uncover the formula for desire. Attraction is not a conscious choice made by logic. It is a primal response triggered deep within the unconscious nervous system. We begin with the most potent tool in your arsenal, the gateway to the soul and the primary signal of intent. According to Freud, the gaze is the direct expression of libido. It is raw desire energy projected outward into the physical world. Jung viewed the eyes as the door to the unconscious. When you lock eyes, you are not just looking, you are connecting souls. Modern science confirms that eye contact activates the amygdala. It triggers a rush of oxytocin, creating a powerful biological bond instantly. However, the quality of your gaze matters. Averting your eyes signals submission and insecurity, telling her deeper mind that you are unsafe. Conversely, staring too intensely without blinking signals a predatory threat. This triggers her fight-or-flight response rather than romantic attraction. The goal is a stable, slow, and deliberate gaze. This signals that you are safe, in control, and not afraid of connection. Forget the old myths about left and right eyes. Instead, understand the balance between a soft, emotional gaze and a sharp, focused gaze. The soft gaze involves relaxed facial muscles. It communicates safety, empathy, and openness, allowing her to feel comfortable in your presence. The focused gaze is sharper and more penetrating. It creates necessary sexual tension, signaling that you are a man of intent and desire. Attraction requires both elements to exist simultaneously. You must provide the safety she needs to open up, and the tension she craves. Master the art of the slow zoom. When speaking about something important, narrow your focus to increase the intensity of the moment. Hold the gaze just a second longer than comfortable. This small act of dominance proves you are not intimidated by her beauty. Eye contact is the bridge, but what travels across that bridge is even more important. We call this phenomenon psychic contagion. Discovered by Rizzolatti, mirror neurons ensure that humans mimic the internal states of those around them. We are biologically wired to synchronize. Jung called this shadow projection. Your internal emotional reality is projected outward, and she unconsciously adopts your mood as her own. She is not reacting to the logical content of your words. She is reacting entirely to the state of your nervous system. If you are anxious or seeking approval, her nervous system detects a threat. She will feel uneasy without knowing exactly why. If you are grounded and calm, her nervous system receives a signal of safety. She relaxes simply because you are relaxed. Remember this crucial truth. Women do not fall in love with you. They fall in love with how they feel when with you. True charisma is not about acting. It is about emotional regulation. You must become the solid rock in the chaos of emotions. Imagine two men saying the exact same line. The nervous man is rejected, while the grounded man is found to be incredibly charming. The first man projects scarcity and fear. His energy screams that he needs something from her, which drains her emotional battery. The second man projects abundance. He is comfortable in his own skin, and his energy invites her to join his calm reality. You are the atmosphere. Before you say a word, ensure your internal weather is calm, confident, and completely self-assured. But comfort alone leads to the friend zone. To create desire, we must introduce the psychological concept of scarcity and autonomy. Freud understood that desire increases when there is an obstacle. We do not value what is easily accessible and always available. Dopamine is the molecule of more. It fires most intensely during the anticipation phase, not during the actual receiving of the reward. There must be uncertainty. If she knows exactly when you will reply and what you will say, her brain stops investing energy. If you are always available, you signal that your time has no value. You become a commodity rather than a prize. Jung describes the king archetype as a man who has his own kingdom. He is centered, purposeful, and deeply involved in his mission. Attraction skyrockets when she realizes you have a world outside of her, a world that you are passionate about building. You must have goals, a schedule, and a mission. Your life must be full before she even enters the picture. You do not trade your entire life for a relationship. She should be a complement to your life, not the center of it. This is not about playing games. It is about actually having a life so interesting that you are not constantly checking your phone. Neediness kills polarity. The moment she feels you need her more than you need your own mission, the attraction begins to die. Polarity requires distance. You must be separate entities with separate lives to create the spark when you finally come together. Be willing to walk away. Be willing to be alone. This autonomy signals high status and triggers her biological desire to chase. When she enters your world, she is a guest in your kingdom. She feels privileged to be part of your busy schedule. Your time is your most valuable asset. Treat it with respect, and she will follow your lead and respect it too. We have established autonomy. Now we must balance it. Welcome to the biological formula for long-term addiction: familiarity and novelty. The human brain has two conflicting needs. We crave safety, driven by oxytocin, and we crave excitement, driven by dopamine. Too much safety leads to boredom. If you are completely predictable, you become like a brother, and the sexual spark fades away. Too much excitement leads to anxiety. If you are too chaotic and dangerous, she cannot relax enough to form a deep bond. You must avoid the extremes. The most addictive men exist in the dynamic middle ground, blending these two opposites seamlessly. Jung called this the integration of opposites. You must be capable of being both the protector and the adventurer. Be stable in your values. She needs to know that your character, your integrity, and your loyalty are unshakable constants. But be unpredictable in your behavior. Surprise her with dates, change plans spontaneously, and keep her guessing about your next move. You are the anchor. When life gets chaotic, you are the one thing she can hold on to for absolute safety. But sometimes, you are the storm. You bring the chaos, the passion, and the emotional intensity that makes her feel alive. This mix creates an addictive dynamic. She feels safe enough to trust you, but excited enough to never take you for granted. Introduce novelty regularly. New experiences trigger the brain's reward system, refreshing the dopamine loop associated with your presence. Balance this with deep familiarity. Create rituals and shared moments that build a unique history that only the two of you share. A flat line is a dead line. A relationship needs ups and downs, quiet moments and loud moments, to remain biologically vital. Be the emotional roller coaster that she wants to ride. Safe enough to strap in, but wild enough to get her heart racing. Now that you have her attention and emotion, how do you reward her? This leads to our final key: selective validation. Freud noted that humans crave recognition from high-value objects, but validation is like currency. Print too much, and it loses value. If you compliment her beauty constantly without her earning it, your words become noise. You are giving away your power for free. Validation must be selective. It is not something she gets just for existing. It is something she earns through her character. This is not manipulation. It is about having standards. You do not view everyone equally. You appreciate quality behavior and ignore the rest. When you withhold validation until it is deserved, she unconsciously realizes that your opinion matters. You become the judge, not the fan. When the praise finally comes, it hits harder. Her brain releases a massive spike of dopamine because she feels she achieved something. Behavioral psychology confirms that intermittent reinforcement is the most powerful motivator. Make your validation a prize, not a participation trophy. Attraction deepens when respect precedes affection. She must respect your judgment before she can truly value your love. By being selective, you teach her how to treat you. You show her that your attention is a reward for high value. Let us summarize this system. True magnetism does not come from tricks. It comes from deep internal alignment and psychological mastery. It is not about your looks or your bank account. It is about your ability to regulate your own nervous system. It is about your internal autonomy, the ability to be a complete individual with a mission, separate from her validation. It is about creating just enough tension, balancing safety with mystery and comfort with a hint of danger. Remember, the most magnetic men are not trying to impress anyone. They are simply expressing their true, high-value nature. Thank you for watching Female Nature Revealed. For deeper analysis of these elements, comment below. Subscribe now for more psychological insights.